Chin, chin, up we go, I guess. Amen, sis. Amen. This is making me giggly. Fuck up this man's life. I said it. Weirdo. Havana Cadabra. To you the end, and the hope that you provide.
Hi, can I order tea and 2 sugars, please?
Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tati, your host, who's having a spectacular Monday so far. I've had such a good weekend. Today's episode, we have some very, very exciting stories, including a holiday fling that got married, some doctor drama, and many, many more exciting things. But as usual, we always start with my 2 sugars and my boiling point from this past week. So my first sugar I have brought to show you for show and tell. My Birkenstock Naples. I love these shoes so much. I could be a salesperson for these shoes. I have not stopped wearing them. I believe in these shoes so hard. I got the shade Concrete Grey. We did also order taupe, but I think Concrete Grey is the colour of the season. Okay, a nice rich brown. I just love them. I think they're 100% worth the money. My back pain, where is it? It's nowhere near me. 10/10 recommend. You can dress them up, you can dress them down. Perfect. And they'll be great in summer as well. I think imagine seeing me on the shores of Italy, perusing in a nice little short and like a nice oversized shirt, some white socks and these. I think that's giving she owns the yacht, right? She's not come off a yacht. She owns the damn yacht. And then second sugar, me and Sophia had a day out yesterday. If you watch my weekly vlogs, you will have seen that already. We literally had the funniest thing happen. I'm going to send Isla the clip so that I can include it in this podcast. It was honestly the funniest thing ever. So insert the clip here. So he said to the barman, burning question for you. What is this smell and where can we get it? He said, you need to speak to Dean. He's one of the manager. He's tall with a black shirt on. So we stood to the side and we had a little giggle, be like, Dean, where are you, Dean? And I went, oh, that could be him. Point to a tall man with blonde hair and a black shirt on. Sophia goes,
oh my god, it's not that funny, is it now? We find it hilarious. Oh my god.
Sophia goes, that's not Dean.
Why are you laughing like that? Oh my god, come on like that. That was so funny.
Oh, that can't be Dean. He's got hair.
He's got hair. I thought he said that.
He said he didn't say.
I said he's bald. He said Dean was bald.
I said no, he didn't.
So yes, he did.
He said tall black shirt. That man is
bald.
No, he didn't. So we went back
And
into the
bald.
bartender. We went back into the bartender. I went giggling. I was really giggling. I went, I'm so sorry. Did you say that Dean was bald? He went, no. I said
he was tall, blonde hair and black shirt.
I don't know where you got that he was bald.
I'm sorry, Dean.
It really doesn't sound that funny.
It doesn't sound funny now, but it was.
I have not laughed like that in a really, really long time, and I just think that was so special. My boiling point. I actually have not had a boiling point this past week. I have been focusing very much on controlling my nervous system, and I've been actively not asked about looking for negative things. So I don't think we have a boiling point for this week because I have been so posy vibes. Not a fucking clue what's going on in the world. Not a fucking clue what is negative in my world. I don't want to look for it. I don't want to see it. So for the first time in 35 episodes, maybe 36 episodes, we have no boiling point. I'm actively choosing to have no boiling point. In the cup today, we have my new hyperfixation. We have a sparkling water mixed with a little bit of orange juice. I love this at the minute. I have been really trying to watch what I'm eating again a bit more. And this feels like a real treat when it's just carbonated water and juice, I guess. Like, it's a good replacement for a fizzy drink of an evening with my dinner. So cheers to that. Cheers to another good week. And let's get into our stories. Cheers. First sip, best sip. Okay, we've got a little boyfriend best friend situation going on here. It is titled, I'm in love with my boyfriend's best friend. Story time. Okay, before I start, I'm aware of how messed up this sounds, but I can't help how I feel. Amen, sis. Amen. Your boyfriend should be doing a better job. That's all I'm going to say. It's Steve's fault. Let's just blame Steve. Where's Joe? Joe is here today. Things have been rocky between us for a while due to how needy and sensitive he can be. I'm a very independent woman, and I always have been. However, he's a really good guy, and I do very much enjoy each other's company. I'd never met any of his friends from work until a few months ago. When we met up with his best friend from work for a night out, we'll call him Dave. I had stalked Dave's Facebook and Instagram prior to meeting him, just to suss out what kind of guy he was. I found his pictures very attractive, I can't lie, but didn't think that much of it. However, when we first met up with Dave, I can't describe how I felt. As soon as I saw him walking up to us, I was overcome with attraction. It was absolutely incredible. We had the most incredible night out. I had some drinks, we went to a couple of clubs. Steve ended up getting very drunk at this one bar, leaving me and Dave alone. Steve's gonna regret those Hugo spritzers. For a while, he was throwing up in the toilet, so it was just me and him. I usually struggle with eye contact, but let me tell you this. This man has the most beautiful eyes. I could not look away. As soon as I left that night out, I was in total shock about how strongly Dave had made me feel. I thought about him all week. This is making me giggly. I thought about him all week and suggested to Steve that we meet up with Dave again the next weekend as we had so much fun. Poor innocent Steve. This is fucking hilarious. You dirty, dirty little dog. You're trying to get your boyfriend to meet up with his friends just so you can spend time with him, you silly goose. He was so happy that I'd gotten to know Dave so well, so we arranged to meet up again. We've now become sort of a trio and hang out most weekends, often with Dave spending the night with us on the couch. I told myself it was just a crush and would go away, but now it's been months and my feeling this is absolutely insane. But now it's been months and my feelings keep getting stronger and stronger. He's a really great guy and there's no way that he'd do that to Steve, but I want him so badly. I haven't made any moves and I never would. I would never cheat on Steve or anyone, but I can't help how I feel and it keeps getting stronger. I don't think these feelings are going to go anywhere. It's so much stronger than what I feel for Steve, which I know is absolutely terrible. I just can't help it. What do you suggest I do about this? Why do you guys put so much weight on my shoulders? Right? I don't fucking know what you should do. Here's the thing. I think you need to tackle these things as separate options. You and Steve clearly are not in a good space. Things have been a little bit lukewarm, lackluster for a while. Maybe you're just not feeling it with Steve anymore, which, listen, that is absolutely fine. Relationships break down. You just need to make sure that you're communicating that with your Steve. If you do that and you put all the work into Steve, I think, first of all, let's stop these fucking meetings at the weekends because that is a recipe for disaster. If we're going out, getting drunk, having fun, Steve's taking it a bit far, next thing you know, you're left alone with Dave on the couch, chin, chin, up we go, I guess. So let's tackle, first of all, we're cutting out weekend getaways. Second of all, we're working on a relationship with Steve. This is when we bring out the timer. Joe, start the clock. You need to think, where are we now? When did you send this story in? Is this like a recent one? Brilliant. You sent this about a month and a half ago. You need to set your timer and think by February. Lizzie's saying Christmas. Here's the thing. A lot of people break up around Christmas because they don't want to be buying the Christmas presents. You're thinking, I'm going to break up with them anyway. I'm not spending 100 quid on a pair of Skims boxers and a game for you. I personally would say New Year, February. That's September, October, November, December, January, February. 6 months. Set a 6-month timer. And then if you still feel this way and you've put everything into Steve that you possibly can, sack Steve off, have your hot girl summer. You never know. Dave might hook up again for cuffing season. Or a year round, we're back with Dave. That's what I would do, personally. I understand you genuinely can't help your feelings, but I do think that when things aren't feeling so exciting in your relationship and you're not feeling that attraction, listen, you clearly have very different love language to Steve. He's clearly just needing your attention all the time. And either you don't want to give that to him or you actually have the ick for him. That is what I would suggest. Personally. And then by all means, you're a free woman. Give it a good go. Do we know that Dave feels this way? Do we? Do you think? I don't know if Dave feels this way. This could just be a fantasy that you have, and you're maybe Dave, hard of hearing. Hard of hearing. So he has to look at your lips in the club to understand what you're saying. You know? It's a possibility. Work on your relationship with Steve / sack Steve off. Whatever. If you can't be asked to put the effort in to work things out with Steve, just sack him off. Sack that man off, okay? Then, how do we get Dave on side? Because Dave might not want to do that to his friend. But why is Dave wanting to hang out with his couple friend, his best friend and his girlfriend every weekend? I think that Dave probably enjoys a bit of a flirt with you. And maybe this is all so exciting because it's out of bounds, you can't have it, and you want things that you can't have, and that's why it's so exciting, so exhilarating. But yeah, I think start the timer and then go from there. Please update me if anything more has gone on in this situation because I am very, very intrigued. And I'm a bit late getting to your dilemma, so I hope we can help. But yeah, Joe and I are very much on Team You side in all of this. I'm not Team Steve or Team... I'm not Team Steve or Team Dave. I'm Team You. And that's how you should be at this moment in time. Team You, sweetie. Love you. All right, this one is simply titled, My Doctor Kissed Me. Story time. I hope your doctor wasn't in the GP service when he kissed you. I'm sure there's some patient doctor confidentiality that we have completely fucked up here. So, hi Tati, I've been a big fan of yours. This was sent in 3 days ago, by the way, so this is hot off the press. Hi Tati, I've been a big fan of yours for so long and I never thought I'd have anything to share until 3 days ago. Whoa, so we're like a week out. I wonder how you're feeling at this moment in time, you sexy little thing. I hope this kiss was consensual, otherwise I fucked it. Here we go. So I'm 19 and I had a doctor's appointment with, obviously, my doctor who is 47. And during our appointment, we usually make small talk. About what? I'm normally telling my doctor that my head feels like it's going to pop off my shoulders, my ears are crackling, or I've got backache. What are we talking about? So we're making small talk with the doctor. How's the wife? Oh, you haven't got one?
Do you know what my favourite thing to do with the doctors is look at the pictures that are on their desk?
Lizzie has just made a very good point here that her favourite thing to do at a doctor's is whilst they're writing the prescription. What winds me up at the doctors is when they don't fucking know what's wrong with you, so they Google it. You tell me not to Google. You tell me not to Google my symptoms. And now you are. Anyway, here we go. So yeah, Lizzie's favourite thing to do is look at the pictures on the desk. That's very good, Lizzie. Well done. He's aware of where I work since it's a very local restaurant. It's not a chain, so it's individual, and I talk a lot about it. I had casually mentioned I'd be working tonight. Well, he ended up coming to my work. Well, you went to his work, so I guess we're equal. I ended up getting off before he'd finished his meal, and I went to wish him goodbye since he was planning to move offices and our appointment was our last. We're going to this office for regular doctor's appointments then. Like we're on like a good vibe with this doctor.
She's chronically ill.
Lizzie! Lizzie's just deadpan looked at me and gone, she's chronically ill. Maybe she is, and that's okay.
I'm saying as a fact, not judgment.
She's either chronically ill or she's a hypochondriac, so let her be. Anyway, I ended up getting off before he finished his meal, so I went to wish him goodbye since he was planning to move offices and our appointment was going to be our last. He asked me to sit, and I did. I just thought it was nothing, and we sort of had just a bit more small talk. Then he asked if I wanted to go on a walk around the town. I agreed because, again, he's my doctor, and I always thought I could trust him. I fear there's a power imbalance going on here. We walked and talked, and he ended up walking me to my car. And that's when he took a step forward towards me and told me he's never felt this way before. And that is when he kissed me. I freaked out and pulled away, and I tried to make conversation to stop him from kissing me more. Then my co-workers came up, and I managed to secretly text them asking to stay until I finally got away from my doctor. I fear this is not the way I thought this dilemma was going. My doctor had my number and ended up messaging me the next day, but I haven't responded. I don't know what to do. I know the right thing to do is report it because he's like 30 years older than me, but I'm having a hard time coping with this. Thanks. I can completely understand why you're having a hard time. The text basically says, by the way, I think we're in America. He says, did you make it home okay? You say, I did. He says, there's tons of light pollution here, but I feel like I saw every star in that Milky Way tonight. Huh? Is he saying like he can see clearly now? What? And then the next day, he texts you, hey blank, I hope you're having a spectacular day. No, I'm not, sir, because you have just thrown a spanner in the works. I thought our relationship was based on professionality, confidentiality, and respect. But no, clearly you've had another thing in your mind, Dr. Steve. I think fuck up this man's life. I said it. I think as a doctor, you don't kiss your patients unless you're giving the kiss alive. You're not kissing your patients. That's rule number 1. Actually, quite easy to not kiss your patients. He has taken... What?
He was moving offices, so technically he wasn't her doctor anymore.
He is still a doctor that has treated a patient. I think you could ask ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT. Or whistleblow. Because, I don't know. This is too much for me. I think you need to tell your parents. 19. Yeah, she's 19 and he's 47. I think speak to a trusted adult or a trusted friend so you're not dealing with this on your own. Seek their advice because I think there's something we can... You don't do that. Like, I think if you'd been on a couple of dates or whatnot, maybe then it'd be all right considering he's no longer your doctor, but I don't know. This doesn't sit comfortable with me at all. And if it's not sitting comfortable with me, then yeah, your boundaries have been completely crossed. I would genuinely just Google this and see what the advice is in your country, because I think from the number that's at the top of the screen, you're not from the UK. I would genuinely do that. Or is that like a citizens advice bureau that you can ask? Or ring the office and just say, this has happened, this doctor no longer works here, what should I do? Because he's also now breaking patient confidentiality and GDPR, which I think is called HIPAA in America. He's taken your number and is using it for personal use, and that's not right. Yeah. I hope you're okay, my love. This is really, really bad. Please keep me updated on what happens. Stay safe and speak to as many people as you can about this, because sometimes I think when these things happen, you just can't process it and you have to like keep talking about it and keep talking about it and keep talking about it until you've offloaded. But yeah, I hope you're okay. Stay strong. That should never have happened to you, and I'm really, really sorry. Love you. All right, our next story is titled, My Holiday Fling Got Married 2 days after telling me that he missed me. Story time. So last year I went on holiday in my midlife crisis era and got talking to a bartender. We'll call him Steve. Just the general flirt, more his side than mine. He'd seen me when I was at breakfast, had my drink ready for me when I got ready to the bar, etc. Certain things did give me the ick. I'm talking winking at me or introducing to... Ew. I'm talking winking at me or introducing me to people as his wifey the day after we met. He'd tell the people I was with that I'm his future wife and that my parents were his in-laws. Side note, his best mate was fitter and funnier. Anyway, he gave me his number and we stayed in contact after I got home. General chit-chat, how's your day, what you're up to, etc. He'd say he misses me and I quote, I miss your cute face. Wanted to FaceTime me all the time, then would disappear for like 2 months at a time and pop back up with a triple message when I didn't reply, acting like nothing was happening. A few months ago, he popped up to me for the final time with the usual, how are you, I miss you, blah, 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 blah. Next thing I know, I found out from his social media, he got married 2 days after his last round of messages to me saying he missed me and wanted to fly out to meet me. Rest assured, it never even crossed my mind to do so. But Tatty, when I tell you my jaw was literally on the floor at the sight of the pictures of him with his whole wife and him and his mother-in-law at the wedding, I could not believe it. I've not heard from him since, and I will not be replying ever again. Anyway, good luck to you and your wife, Steve, you fucking weirdo. See you never. Yeah, I guess. You're fair. What is with these men? I imagine him around the bar, he's like, hello, señorita, my wifey. Not my real one. Lizzie sat there looking at me like, what an odd little man. How are these men doing this? It's actually scary. That he's just going to work. What the fuck do his colleagues think? I've just assumed that he's Spanish, by the way. I'm doing these like these sexy Spanish men. Anyway, what a fucking nutter. I hope his wedding went okay. I hope that one day this bride realizes that she is with a weird person called Steve. I actually have no more to say on that. I'm glad that you haven't like been emotionally invested in this man and that you were a little bit weirded out. Here's the thing. I think we go back to the same resort. Get with his friend. This is when we channel our inner Dave and Steve from the first story. We go back to the same resort. We meet up with the friends of Steve and Amy, the happy couple. And that is where we tell Amy. That's what I'd do. It isn't. I'm not that bold, but that's what I would like to do. What I would actually do is what she's doing, and I'd tell someone on a podcast that can read it out, because that's a cracking story. I'm just really glad you weren't emotionally invested in this man, because that would hurt so much more. But your Steve radar was dinging, being like, weirdo, 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 weirdo. Yeah.
I fear the truth is that he just lacks brain cells.
Yeah, I agree, Liz.
I think he just sounds a bit stupid.
Very strange, stupid Steve. Are we shocked? I'm not, personally. Anyway, to the happy couple. A toast to the groom, to the groom, to the groom, to the groom, to the bride, to the bride, to the bride. To your sister, Angelica, who was always by your side. To you, Diane, and the hope that you provide. May you always. Good Lord. Anywho. Alrighty, this next one is titled, why the fuck do people do this? It's not titled that. This one is titled, my mother-in-law told everyone that I was pregnant with my first child before I could. Story time. Before we even get into this, shut the fuck up, Bertha. Bertha, I ain't asking. My ass in 7 jeans, true religion. I say no, but they keep giving, so I keep on taking. No, I ain't taking. You can keep on faking. I keep on demonstrating my love, my love, my love, my love. Anywho, I met a girl down at the disco. She said, hey, 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 yeah, let's go. I can be your baby. You can be my... What's that next word? With my cocoa. Where's Percocet come from? Filled with my cocoa, yeah. Filthy, filthy, milky, milky cocoa. That's fucking disgusting, that song is. I like it. Anyway, let's get on with this story. My mother-in-law and me worked together in the office. This was just after COVID lockdown. For the last few weeks, I'd been taking antibiotics for... Sorry, I just didn't expect that word to come up. I'd been taking antibiotics for an abscess, which was placed between... What the fuck? Sorry, I just haven't read this yet. This is actually quite shocking. For the last few weeks, I'd been taking antibiotics for an abscess, which was placed in between my butt cheeks of all places. Of anywhere to get a fucking abscess. It's not in your arse crack. That must be so painful.
What was she doing to get it?
I don't know. I think you can just get abscesses. I think they can just pop up.
Wiping too hard.
She's wiping too hard. She needs to teach Steve a damn thing about wiping that damn ass. Anyway, as these weeks went on, nothing seemed to change. No matter what, it just kept growing. How is this going to lead to where we are in this story? I got to the point where I'd finished my antibiotics and I couldn't sit down, I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk. No matter what I'd done, I just couldn't get relief from it. So I called my doctors. Did he kiss you? Did he kiss you? So I called my doctors to make an appointment. I rang my mother-in-law to tell her just to make her way to work and I'd not be going in. It was at this point she told me I was over-exaggerating. Was I sure I just couldn't get to work? Bertha, it fucking looks like I've got a BBL. Okay, Lizzie, pass me my laptop. This is how Bertha wants you to work in the office. Looks like you've had a BBL. Right? Unacceptable. For the listeners, if you missed that, I was basically on all fours on the chair. Anyway. I don't like when people underestimate how much pain people are in. She told me my antibiotics would have just worked by now and that maybe I could just take a pillow to work. I'll take a pillow to your face, right? I had an abscess which quite literally felt like a rugby ball in my ass cheeks. I was having none of it and I went to the doctor's office about an hour into my shift. Oh my God, so you still went in. Do you know what? That is one thing I stand by. It is better to go into work and be sent home than calling sick. I don't know why. That just sits a bit better with me than calling in sick. Personally. At least you tried. Anyway, the doctor took one look at me and said she'd be arranging transport to the hospital for me instantly, and I panicked. I rang my husband and imagine this abscess is the child's head. And she's birthing. And she's been
her bum.
well, between her ass cheeks. Anyway, I rang my husband and told him he needed to collect me and a bag of things together. The transport collected me, having to strap me to a bed looking like something out of Superman, and transported me and wheeled me through the emergency room to the bays. Oh, as I lay crying, an on-call surgeon came to tell me they'd be putting me to sleep to drain the abscess, and it was one of the worst he had ever seen. He told me that they were preparing a bed for me and that I would need to sign the forms and he'd be back to see me. This is when I rang my husband to tell him. Upset, confused, but in agony, but all while thinking my mother-in-law didn't believe me and couldn't wait to see her reaction. Petty. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A short while later, my phone rang. It was my mother-in-law, apologising and worrying because what I hadn't seen... Oh. My phone rang. It was my mother-in-law apologising and worrying because what I haven't mentioned yet was that I had had a miscarriage in September of the previous year, and now we are 6 months pregnant into February of this year. So we've had the child now. Hopefully you've had the child. Well, yeah, she told everyone she was pregnant. Oh, God. She asked, had they informed me of the seriousness of being put to sleep? So you're going under general whilst pregnant. But I needed the surgery and I knew that if it didn't happen, it would get worse. Well, do you know what, Bertha? If you're not fucking concerned, you shouldn't have been making me come into work. So off I went to surgery and all went well. Thank God. All I remember was coming round and watching Gogglebox. I was moved into a ward and left with a massive hole where my wound had been, which required being packed daily. After about a week in the hospital, I returned home, but not to work as I still had a few weeks of recovery left, and an emergency scan was arranged for a few days' time, for the baby, I assume. I decided to go for a takeout meal to treat myself after the ordeal of the whole thing. I ordered my tea, and as I was leaving, I decided that I wanted a slushie. This is when the guy said, "It's on the house." Confused, I asked why. And his mum said, "As a congratulations for the baby, I know how cravings work." Confused, my husband and I hadn't said anything to these people or anyone other than our closest family. My husband then confronted his mum because she's a bit of a tale teller who apologised and said it was just when she was worried about me in the surgery, she'd maybe let it slip. Right, I'm basically assuming that this is the local takeaway. Mother-in-law has accidentally let it slip, which is not ideal. We had a scan and told that everything was fine, baby was all good, which relieved me after a few scares already. Yeah, I can imagine. It was a really scary time after the miscarriage prior, and I didn't want to tell anyone just in case to keep it my little secret. Fast forward a few weeks, I go into work. I notice everyone is glaring into my direction, but just thought I was now known as the girl who had a huge big gaping hole at the top of her arse. But no. This is when everyone and their cat started to congratulate me on the baby, and my mother-in-law had not only told the takeout staff, but the entire office. Oh, and later I found out she told all of her friends too. So here I am, stood very early on, still scared due to constant issues in my pregnancy and still not feeling myself after everything that had gone on, but pregnant nonetheless. And everyone knew. So petty little me decided I'd not tell her the gender, not tell no one. But again, this woman decided to announce to everyone in her sector she knew it was going to be a girl as she'd seen something which was pink in my home. So not only did this woman ruin my announcement, she then ruined the gender of my first child and her first grandchild. I'm happy to say my gorgeous baby was born after a very complicated pregnancy and a difficult birth, but she is very healthy, beautiful and thriving. She was everything I'd ever dreamed of, but I can't help but feel like I'm still angry to this day, years later, about this experience, and I still feel like, am I petty or was this a big deal? She's also sent me pictures of her beautiful babies, but I'm obviously not going to share them. And honestly, the most precious little babbies ever. I've got a picture of her when she's a little bit older, and then a picture of her as a baby. This woman doesn't like you. This woman was trying to make your pregnancy, your issues, your illnesses about her. I don't care how stressed she is. You don't do something like that to someone that you love. And also to your daughter-in-law and to your husband. Like, this is obviously a really tumultuous time for both of you as a couple. She should be doing everything in her power to respect your wishes to keep things private. And I just think people like that they're not worth having around. And it makes it even worse that she went around and told everyone in the office. It wouldn't be like, this sounds really bad, but I feel like if you didn't work in the office with her, it wouldn't be as bad because like you work with these people, they're your colleagues, you want to tell them. Yeah, I don't rate that at all, Bertha. Sorry. You're not blowing this out of proportion and you will never, ever, ever forget what she's done to you. These are the types of things that you think, oh yeah, I really like her, but I will never forget that. And well, I was shocked she did this because she did that to me when I was pregnant. So yeah, I'm really sorry that happened. And today, guys, we're going to bring it to a close there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you do have a story to send in, head to our socials, or there's a little link in the caption down here. Send them in. We love reading them every single week, and I will see you next week. Tatty bye!
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like, whoa.